You do it, I do it, we all do it, probably multiple times a day without even thinking about it, entering our PIN. It feels like the most basic security action in the world, right? But behind that simple action is a really fascinating story of incredible technology and a very, very human weakness. This is the PIN paradox.
I mean, just try to wrap your head around the scale of this for a second. Billions of times, every single day, somebody somewhere is tapping those 4 little digits into an ATM, a card reader, or their phone. It's kind of become one of the most universal digital rituals that we have as humans.
And that's the thing, isn't it? It just feels so basic, a simple 4-digit number. But what's really happening under the hood when you hit that enter button? Well, you might be surprised to find out it is way more sophisticated than most of us could ever imagine. So, let's start with what we all think we know, the PIN. It's that familiar gateway, the key we use pretty much every day to unlock our money and, well, our digital lives.
It's simple, we're all familiar with it, it's usually at least 4 digits long, but here is the one crucial detail that changes absolutely everything. Your PIN is never, ever stored as is. It's not just a set of numbers sitting in some database waiting to be checked off a list.
So, let's pull back the curtain for a moment and take a look behind that keypad. Because what's actually there is a kind of fortress, an invisible cryptographic fortress that was designed decades ago and, get this, is still trusted today.
Okay, this slide really gets to the heart of it. This shows the huge gap between what we assume is happening and what's actually going on. We think the system is just asking, hey, does the 1234 he just typed in match the 1234 we have on file? But that's not it at all. In reality, the system is solving a complex cryptographic verification problem to prove it's you, without ever needing to see or store your actual PIN.
And the heart of this digital fortress is a special little device called a hardware security module, or an HSM. Now, the easiest way to think about this is like a physical, tamper-proof vault, but for data. It's a purpose-built computer designed to do one thing and one thing only: handle secrets in an incredibly secure way. And when I say secure, I mean it. These things are designed so that secrets literally cannot be read out of them. You can't just copy a key like you'd copy a file on your computer. They're even built to detect if someone is physically messing with them. Basically, all the important, sensitive stuff happens inside this box, and it is never allowed to leave.
So, okay, we've got this incredible, almost unbreakable fortress protecting our PINs, which leads to a pretty obvious question, right? If the tech is so amazing, why do we constantly hear about PIN-related fraud?
And let's be crystal clear here. That original design, the fortress itself, has held up remarkably well over the decades. The fundamental cryptography is sound. The fortress has not been breached, so the problem isn't the technology. And yet, fraud keeps going up. Criminals are finding ways to succeed, and they're often targeting the most vulnerable people in our society, like our senior citizens. So what is going on? How are they getting past this incredible security? The answer, it turns out, has nothing to do with breaking the code. It's all about something you could call the human bypass. Because the weakest link in this whole security chain isn't a piece of software or a server. It's us.
We have to be absolutely 100% clear on this point. Scammers are not crypto wizards breaking into hardware security modules. They are not defeating the technology.
They just walk around it. I mean, why bother trying to break down the fortress door when you can just trick someone into opening it for you?
It all comes down to simple persuasion. It's classic social engineering. Scammers create a fake sense of urgency or authority, and they convince people to willingly give them their PINs, their passwords, basically the very keys to their digital kingdom.
So, why does this work so often? Well, it's because our own everyday interactions are quietly teaching all of us a very dangerous lesson. They're softening up the mental walls that we're supposed to have around these secret codes.
And here it is. This is the absolute core of the problem. Your bank spends years and a lot of money telling you, never, ever, ever share your PIN with anyone. But then you call your phone company or some other service for support, and what's one of the first things they ask? Please state your PIN to continue. The two messages are in direct conflict.
And this process, over time, trains our brains to accept a really risky idea, that maybe sharing a secret code is normal. Sometimes it makes the rule conditional. And as soon as that hard and fast rule gets a little fuzzy, it creates a massive vulnerability that scammers are more than happy to exploit. And listen, this isn't just a theoretical problem. The security expert whose work actually inspired this tool explainer mentioned that his own phone company asked him to say his PIN out loud over the phone to an agent. This stuff happens all the time.
So, look, the point here isn't to start pointing fingers or blaming specific companies. It's really about taking a step back and thinking about design and the hidden power that something as simple as language can have in our systems.
You know, every company is trying to find this delicate balance between perfect security, making things easy for customers to use, and just the practical, day-to-day reality of running a business. It is a genuinely tough problem to solve.
But what this whole paradox really drives home is that these seemingly small design choices can have enormous consequences. Something as simple as what we decide to call a code can fundamentally change how people behave, and ultimately how secure they are.
Which leaves us with this one last big question to think about. If a secret code is designed in a way that requires you to say it out loud to a support agent, should we really be calling it a PIN in the first place? Maybe, just maybe, a different name could help us all rebuild that mental wall and in turn make our digital fortress just a little bit stronger.